Hello, and welcome to Loose Butthole Reviews. Today we are reviewing The Matrix Resurrection. And before we get into it, we are going to give our official rating, which we agree on this one. Correct?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yep. It's a Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. What does Jeff Goldblum want?
I want my money back. And I want angels to give it to me. And pixies to count it out for me. And a gnome or a hobbit or an elf to sleep at the foot of my bed and I just want them all over my backyard. But no matter what happens with any of that, I do want my money back.
A hard Jeff Goldblum.
Good. I needed a pause so I can insert the video.
I got
Oh man, this film, I had low expectations, but it still managed to fuck up.
Oh yeah. I predicted a lot of just of what sequels, the problems that sequels have nowadays, and it did every single one of them. I'm glad it didn't do any type of they kind of did, but they were fake kids. But at least they didn't do that Neo has a kid or some shit. That was like the one trope that they were missing.
Yeah, that's the one trope that they didn't have. But Trinity had kids in this, and she's the one, so the one does have kids. Even though the kids were just programs, and that's what I didn't like. The swarm mode wasn't humans being possessed and taken over. The swarm mode was just programs, and that's why they didn't explode into gore and guts when they fell down during the bombing scene, which that's really that scene out of context is fucking hilarious, but it's so disappointing how they just have that fucking disappointing Matrix effect when they hit the ground. It's like, this is where you could have got your rated R. This is where you could have earned the rated R. Because they did. I don't care that people were dive bombing out their windows. They weren't real people, for one. And two, they weren't gory at all. They literally just hit the ground and they were fine.
And I know if someone jumps off of a high building and hits a car or something, it makes a big smash, but it's not gonna flip a car.
Yeah, that was really annoying.
Unless they had superpowers, but it didn't seem like they did. It just seemed like they were unhinged at human level, when they're scratching at that one chick,
Yeah, they were just zombies. They were supposed to be zombies, which is fucking another trope that they did, and they had fucking zombies, dude.
Man, I at the very least thought it was just people getting controlled and erased.
Yeah, but no, they were programs. Yep, they were just programs, and they had a swarm mode inside of them that the analyst could activate, and apparently Mr. Smith can activate too, and apparently Neo, the one that invented bullet time, is not immune to bullet time. That's his weakness. Yeah, that's why in the cafe scene with Neil Patrick Harris, he was moving all slow and stuff, and they even call it bullet time in the fucking film. They're like, oh, you might know this one. It's bullet time. And it's like, why?
I guess I never thought of it of it being a weakness or anything. I thought it was just that the program was more powerful.
Apparently, that's Neo's weakness is his own bullet time power.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I missed that part. I just thought that the analyst was. I don't know. It seems like things that are over-explained because it's.
Yeah,
it's I learned this and I'm like, okay, it doesn't change anything.
I mean, what
happened?
What I really can't stand is the recastings in this.
Mm.
I'm just gonna call him Morpheus Smith because it's not the real Morpheus. Morpheus Smith was god awful in this. That was terrible. What a way!
I also like Dorpheus. Dorpheus is also acceptable.
Yes, Dorpheus. Yeah, we can call him Dorpheus. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, he's definitely Dorpheus. It was just so fucking terrible. He was such an edgelord. He wasn't insane.
I did try to look more into why Morpheus wasn't in it, and I like Lawrence Fishburne's keeping his mouth zipped.
He did not want to
So,
do it. He just did not want to do
yeah.
this film, which is
Yeah,
understandable.
but there's also a thing that he may have not have been asked because in a video game, which is canon, Morpheus dies. He
Oh
dies in the video
shit!
game. That's why people say he's dead and we don't see it in the last movie. It's because it's in the video game. And that's
Oh
canon.
shit! Oh, that's fucking
So basically
stupid.
he died off screen. If you don't play
Fuck
the
yeah.
video game, you wouldn't know.
Oh my god, that is so fucking stupid. Why even make the video game canon? Why?
Because
makes-
apparently it was written by it was written by the Wachowskis and it had all the actors in it, voice acting, and even had Lawrence Fishburne in it.
That's completely fine, but you don't have to make it canon to the point where you can't have Morpheus in the fourth film and you gotta have some stupid ass edgelord version of him.
I kind of want to like look up some highlights of this because I was always wondering why the other Wachowski that isn't the non-Linda Wachowski said that it was already like, oh, it's already completed, it's already finalized. So maybe it's because why that didn't seem right to me is because maybe it seems more final in the video game that they kind of wrapped it up in the video game sort of.
That's probably what they were hinting towards, that it was finalized.
And it makes sense of why Neo is a game developer and that the Matrix is all of it is like he made into or a game or it's the excuse for that memory.
Yeah, it's that I really liked that. I really liked that premise that they had going. If only they didn't show us that the Matrix was a thing right before that happened. And
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
This whole
it made
movie,
that kind of pointless.
This whole movie was Mimba. You remember this? You remember this?
Oh yeah, and just like in some semi-subtle ways, it's like we have to have a scene that is like that like mirrors this in a different way too, and they'll do it and it'll be an iconic scene, but they just do it horribly.
Yeah, they destroyed so many iconic scenes in this, trying to recreate them. Fucking when
like you gotta have a scene where people are just like not like there's a bunch of the bad guys and there's thousands of them and you're surrounded and it's just you have to walk through them and make the deal and then you kick their ass.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
Just like the nightclub scene, just like the Smiths in the last part of the third movie.
The Smiths,
but not as good.
Man, that's the one thing. That's another fucking the recasting of Mr. Smith, of Agent Smith. That was egregious.
I don't know what they were doing. Why was he like a metrosexual?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Weird dude.
Like, I didn't even, they could, Hugo Weaving can play a metrosexual. If they really wanted to have a metrosexual Agent Smith, you could have gave Hugo Weaving that direction. I mean, Hugo Weaving is the only Agent Smith that I'm ever going to accept. This Agent Smith is fucking awful, dude.
I think it's because of like how he's portrayed in the first part, because it's like he's a young leader of a company and it's a gaming company, so he's got his shoes off and he's 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 the the new types of CEO, that type of that stereotype, when everyone's in beanbag chairs and shit.
Yeah.
That's what I think, and that's like a trope that like was big also like a decade ago. So, which makes sense because the script, even though like only half of it was like was original, because I know
this
like this movie apparently has been through production hell,
yeah, I can
right?
tell. I'm not 100% sure, but I can tell there were definitely reshoots. There's just
And
there's some scenes in this that literally have no connection to any other scene whatsoever. It's like why even have this scene? Like when Neo is in Ion or whatever they fucking call it now. It's not Zion. It's not Zion. Fucking they kept having conversations with him in that fake Morpheus with Dorpheus and in his stupid little ball form for some fucking reason. That's what really upset me. That stupid ass. They had programs have sentience, but instead of possessing bodies like Agent Smith, they had a stupid like physical form that was made of like pellets.
yeah, like little nanobot pellet things that are.
That it made no fucking sense.
It was just so that we could not be distracted by it, I guess, for a second. Is what they
I
thought,
think
maybe. I don't know.
I think that definitely the scenes with those characters in it, that's definitely a reshoot, and they couldn't get that character in time, that actor in time to shoot those scenes. So there's like, oh, we'll just record your voice in a recording booth and do a special effect.
Not only was this go on.
I was about to say it was a necessity to have that instead of wanting to have that, and it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah. And other than being in production hell, it was in conceptual hell. Like it was like half of a script that Linda didn't want to like release at all at first.
Yeah, apparently there's a sob story behind the movie to where her parents died and she really missed her parents, and she couldn't have her parents back alive, but she could have Neo and Trinity back alive, so she decided to do this movie, which I understand that, but you completely you completely shat on those characters in this film. Like, just completely shat all over them. I don't see how this is paying tribute or homage to anybody. It's a fucking terrible film. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah. And everyone's been going on about strong themes of post-capitalism.
I guess.
I didn't
catch on to that, but I guess you can say
maybe
that.
I guess maybe in Neil Patrick Harris, the analyst is who he plays in this.
Yeah.
Who's the new bad guy.
Instead of the architect, which don't fucking know why the architect's not mentioned, but all right.
They did mention him. They said that he was like put away because he was obsolete, and that the analyst kind of took over. Was promoted.
Fuck.
So I guess the architect isn't even who I thought it was.
The architect was a program that was based off the design, was based off the image of the actual person who built the Matrix, but he was a program the whole time. It just he looked like the person that made, and that's why he was called the architect.
And you know what? I'll actually come back to this because there's someone I was looking for, and we'll come back to it because for the next when we review the Animatrix, because there's one figure that I thought was the architect.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't, and it was the one who jump started the whole war on humanity in the first place.
Gotcha. Yeah,
one specific AI.
Yeah, no, the architect was
with
a human.
Daddy issues.
Apparently the architect was a human, and the Matrix was designed and built by humans.
Yes. Okay.
Are we gonna mention how Neo's not the one and how Trinity's been the one this whole time?
They didn't outwardly say it, but it's what's implied, and I feel like even if that's not the route that they're going. It was meant to be seen as that in this film. And you know what? To this point, even though I hated that choice, I sort of hope they stick to their guns because I feel like it was just a marketing ploy. And I feel like it'd be even worse if they just were like, they just got it for, they kind of misled people and then backtracked.
Well, we
Because then
know
that
that
shows
they.
how fake it is. You know?
Yeah, but I would actually like that they change it back to Neo being the one. But to be honest, I think they're implying that they're both that the one is not Neo or Trinity. That it's the couple together being
it's both
the
of
one.
them.
It's both of them.
That's why I think he's gonna have in the next movie or game. It's gonna be about him getting powers back and getting back onto the level of Trinity.
Yeah.
And then the last movie is gonna be them together,
though
being Superman.
They gave him a new power in this, which is force push. But that's all he could do for some fucking reason. And did you notice how Neo in this whole movie didn't hold a gun once?
Nope. And I saw someone also talk about how, like, because I saw someone complain about that, and they're like, that's actually the point of the movie.
No, Keanu Reeves has extensive training. He does his own stunts. What the no, dude, no. If you're using Keanu Reeves, you give him a fucking gun, dude.
But I don't know, because people are like grabbing out political messages that aren't even in this.
Yeah, that's no.
I wish I could go back to find what that person's explanation was to that, because I think
I
it was
really
maybe
hope
that
that's not fucking.
They don't need guns anymore.
That makes it worse. That makes the movie worse if there's nothing but political undertones throughout the whole fucking film. Like, it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Like, the Wachowski just needs to stop pushing their fucking agenda on everybody else. You ruined the Matrix. It ruined the fucking Matrix because you had to fucking push your message.
And I don't know. It's hard to tell if it's like just it's genuine, but it's through a Hollywood lens, or if it's a marketing thing. It's really hard because I know that Linda Wachowski, of course, is very politically active, but
that's fine. But man, keep it out of your films. Keep it out of your films because it doesn't make it better.
Or, I don't know. Do it better. Just do it better if you're gonna do it. This wasn't a good way to do it. You could do it good. You can do it good. You can make it so.
I guess you could, but I don't think the Wachowskis have that. I don't think Wachowskis have that talent, and it's blatantly obvious.
Parasite is a very good, like example of political message being done right.
That definitely is. Parasite is an amazing film.
That's against post-capitalism in South Korea. I mean,
that is great. But
I just know that and I don't have a problem with it because I mean there's like different colored haired people and they kind of have that style, but I know that the neon blue was a bait, like hair to start with. That was a bait.
That I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's why
how the fuck
when I saw this.
How the fuck? Gotcha.
1 second. This is why, and it's hard to tell because that's why I wanted to know like how much of the writing and stuff was Linda and how much was it of these like Hollywood writers, because I smell Ghostbusters reboot strats when basically I forget there's some I wish I actually looked back this up because there's some evidence of like the company like putting up like very baity like advertisements and stuff, or not advertisements, articles, like paying for articles and stuff to like make it seem more like kind of spark the controversy. Like there's definitely a sexist response too as well, but they only focused on that and they kind of like made it a war in the articles. And this was before the movie even came out, and you picked the side and everyone picked a side, and then everyone watched it and were like, oh, It wasn't. It was pretty bad, but it was mainly just kind of like we just forgot about it and we don't talk about it again. Like even the people that were supporting it, it's like, oh, because it
I hate to
became
I
yeah, it
hate to
became
point.
like using divisiveness in this country
Yeah,
to sell your movies
yeah, I
without
get
making
that.
them good.
I understand that.
And
But
then anyone who makes fun of it can be like, oh, that's a red flag. He doesn't like it because he hates women. You
yeah,
know,
I get that. I get
not
that.
because of the actual quality of the film.
Fucking the quality of the film was terrible though, and
Yes.
I hate to point this out, but you're being sexist in a completely different way if your whole movie is, oh, women are good, men are bad. Like you're still being sexist with that message.
Hmm. Yeah. And I didn't even really see that much of a
I,
men bad thing other than
no,
like,
no, that wasn't in this film, but it was definitely in Ghostbusters. But that's talking about another film.
yeah.
They
But
made Chris Hemsworth character a complete dumbass, and he couldn't function properly without the Ghostbusters and shit like that. It's definitely had a handholdy message. This
mhm.
one didn't have one,
It wasn't focused or at
but
all in any type of
exactly
message, I don't think.
it didn't have a clear message in this.
It just had kind of like a few like whoop whoop scenes for like
Yeah, but that's about it. And
yeah.
I have an issue. Why are they wasting their fucking resources on making hair dye?
I'm making hair dye.
Yeah, she has neon
Uh,
blue hair. Like
no,
they're
when she goes back in the real world, she just has black hair.
oh, okay. I didn't
It's just
notice.
yeah. It's
Okay,
only
so
blue haired in the Matrix. It makes sense. It's not.
okay, yeah,
It's
that's just her avatar in the Matrix. Yeah, I understand.
yeah. If it wasn't,
Oh,
even if it wasn't the first scene, I wouldn't say it. But
the
it
the
was the first
first
scene.
the first
You
scene
know.
they made Bug like super fucking powerful. Like she landed on that one building and crushed it under her weight. Like she was
Oh
supposed to be
yeah.
the next one. I
I
think
don't,
that's
no
might
one
have been.
died.
To be honest,
They're all gonna be in the next one.
yeah, no one died, so yeah, they're all going to be in the next one. I think that's what
There
they
were.
were trying to. I think that was one of the reshoots, though. I
Mhm.
just now realized that they did give Bug like a super strong move set in the first fucking scene, and then after that, she didn't
Mhm.
have that move set at all.
Oh, don't get me started about all the quips because she's quipping all through.
Yeah,
Even Neo's quipping. There's some quips in the other ones, but this has like
this is quip
Marvel movie dialogue.
the
Like
every
it
other
reeks of
line was
that
a
type.
quip.
Yeah, which is like a big thing in Marvel movies. Like you can't have like a any type of like emotional scene or anything without someone having to break it because they don't want the babies to cry or feel
Uh,
uncomfortable.
I can't believe this was made, and I can't believe the quality that it was made. I'm so disappointed.
Oh, and I kind of want to go over before we brush over it. Let's go over the weird kind of dangerous message that's going on in this film. Okay, so it yeah, so after the first scene you just have some action things, but then you have Neo, he's in the real world. He's he thinks he's a video game designer and he thinks all the events of Matrix that he put in the video game because blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
the
the
analyst is plays as his psychiatrist,
psychiatrist.
and he's basically having the whole like he's having to fight with this like he believes the world is real and like no it's a simulation, and he's taking the pills like it's all the blue pills that are prescribed to him, you know, and there's a scene
Yeah,
of him dumping them all finally, you know,
yeah. That's a
and
very negative message that they had going.
the whole arc of it was that he stops listening to his psychiatrist
Don't that yeah that he
and
had a
jumped off
schizo
a cliff
he
and
had
jumped
a
off a building.
oh, he had a fucking schizo moment. He stopped trusting
and
that's the number one. That's like a very big problem with schizophrenics is trusting doctors just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they don't play around in the original Matrix at all about like it's pretty much like, oh, it's the real world for like the first movie for like a couple seconds, then it's like fuck, then the truth gets thrown on them, then it's Matrix all through it. There's no like constant questioning and going back, and like it was kind of a subtle thing, and that itself
see,
like drove people crazy, you know.
With that, they didn't even like try to imply. They outright showed us that the Matrix existed, and that Neo's just back into the Matrix, and the Matrix is just keeping him, you know, under wraps.
And what I'm saying is that like the first movies like made people go crazy, and I don't think that they were as, I don't think they had as much of a dangerous message, or they didn't focus on that, you know, and that got people like thinking like, am I in the Matrix? And this one is basically like saying like you know what, if you question it, like you might be.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to be thinking.
Kind of odd. Yeah, it was almost like an anti-farm, like anti-med, like anti.
Yeah, and like an anti-pharma.
Yeah, which I mean, I didn't want to say anti-pharma because there's like reasons to be anti-pharma in other ways, but of not taking everyone, if you have a serious mental illness that you are prescribed pills and they are the only thing that helps you, you take them. You know?
Yeah, take them. Don't follow the message in this movie for sure. I'm glad you pointed it out.
And it's weird because it's kind of like a more like right wing type of message, and I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just from like, I don't know,
bad
it
writing.
was just like they needed to have that like in it that conflict,
tension.
and that conflict was only there for like a little bit.
Oh, they
anyway.
brushed over it. It was like 30 minutes of the movie, and that's it.
None of the comedy worked.
Are we going to talk about the insufferable video game designers Neo worked for?
The Epic Gamers, yes.
Yeah, the Epic Gamers.
Everything they said was cringe.
It was
time
fucking.
They opened their mouths.
It was like the script just said cringy dialogue for their characters.
It's what people thought gamers talked 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even accurate 10 years ago. It's what people thought. It's like there's a lot of stereotypes that are decade old, I noticed. And I'm trying to remember some other ones. I remember I discussed them a little bit more when we were just talking about it when we watched it after. But there's a lot of things, and I wonder because I don't understand though, because I feel like why would that be in the half script that Linda like wrote like almost 10 years ago? Why was these parts, you know? I feel like this is the stuff that was added after, so
yeah,
I don't know why there's so many decades old like references and lingo, and
because whoever
finished cat videos.
Oh, the post credit scene, yeah. To be honest, I think they're foreshadowing that it's gonna be I don't want to say this, but I think they're gonna foreshadow that the Neil Patrick Harris cat is the mastermind behind the whole fucking thing, which is gonna be really fucking annoying if they do that, because they're definitely going for more movies. Definitely reeks of first movie trilogy bullshit.
The cat's name's Deja Vu.
Yeah, cat's name is Deja Vu. Even though it wasn't really Deja Vu.
You see the platter that says Deja Vu on the cat's like bowl, but then they're like, oh, stupid American audience no see that. So Neil Patrick Harris has to pick up his cat and go like, oh, Deja Vu.
Yeah,
and
yeah, they did do
he
that.
might as well just winked at the camera.
Yeah.
Like, get it? Wink.
I kind of wish he did wink at the camera.
Or if he was just like, Deja Vu. Let me go over the definition of Deja Vu and what it... Remember this cat? He was in the other film.
Oh yeah, he was fucking in the other film. He
Yeah, that's why when I said yeah, that'd make a lot of sense that if the cat was behind it, you could totally make the excuse the cat's been watching the whole time.
all right. Well,
The cat. Oh shit. Okay, I need to try to remember that, but I want to save that for Animatrix of
gotcha,
who I think
gotcha.
the cat is.
Okay,
If
cool,
the cat
cool.
is the main, if the cat, because I'm pretty sure that robot was a black color too.
Nice. Okay, cool, cool. Good. Nice.
And it would make sense of it being sort of like a pet of its creator, or maybe that's how it negatively saw itself. We need to watch Animatrix soon.
Yeah, we do. We do.
That's what I want to.
Which
I want to know if I want to be, because I feel like we're gonna be even more angry at this film,
all right.
possibly, or maybe there will be some things that we'll kind of see.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So
And I guess we have to play the video game. What is a video game even on?
I don't fucking
It
know.
has to
I'll
be
have
like
to
PS2 or some shit, right?
yeah, I'll have to look into it. I'll definitely have to look into it. But we've gone on long enough, by the way.
We could go on so much longer if we
Yeah,
wanted to.
but I to be honest, I don't want to give this movie any more recognition than it deserves. All right. So if you've been listening this long, thank you so much. Please like or comment dislike and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell.
And don't trust IP reboots. There will almost always be like this, more or less.
Yep. All right. This will be a bye-bye.
Bye bye.